and technical hazards. Most times we tend to give most of the communities, most of the time we are reactive. Restive, we'll go and build pipe-borne water. We'll go and erect schools for them. No. We should, during the project stage, we must engage them from planning to execution. An informed community is a well-defined being. When they are informed, they tag along. How do you reframe engagement as strategic risk management? We look at the problem. The problem is community engagement treated as external CSR activity is disconnected completely from engineering governance and risk analysis. How do you get the solution? This slide, please. How do you arrive at the solution? The solution is we need to embed engagement as a strategic engineering and governance instrument throughout the pipeline life cycle. We don't need to be reactive. And the outcome will be measurable risk reduction, operational resilience, and long-term social legitimacy for pipeline systems. The capacity of a project to maintain its social license to operate now influences timelines, cost efficiency, and regulatory compliance as directly as engineering performance. In as much as that CEOs and management will want to have engineering performance, they want performance for their project, we must also put into consideration the social license to operate. That should be the foundation. Social license to operate captures the informal community-driven legitimacy necessary for project continuity. Unlike regulatory permits, SLO is dynamic and contingent on ongoing trust. If you look at the diagram there, you see the trust is in the middle. It's the focal point, trust. When a community trusts any company that is running the pipeline within their community, you have everything that you need. They become co-managers of that project. They work with you. They won't be restive. But when they're not transparent, when you don't have their confidence, when you're not credible, when you don't have shared value with them, that is why for gas pipelines, maintaining SLO is critical to operational resilience and regulatory compliance. When communities participate meaningfully, they become co-managers of risk. And conversely, lack of inclusion and public disclosure portals. Conversely, limited dialogue in the West African gas pipeline, the Nigerian, Benin, Togo, and Ghana corridor contributed to mistrust and early vandalism incidents. So you will have delayed reduction in terms of when projects are structured, have structured engagement recorded, they will record fewer delays on average compared to reactive approaches when it comes to consultation. In terms of security incidents, we have fewer vandalisms and sabotage incidents in projects adopting participatory mechanisms and transparent dialogue, whereby the communities were part of the ongoing process. I'll look at the model that I would like to propose, the phases for community engagement. You look at the AMR model. The AMR framework says have 5 integrated approaches. One is anticipate, identify social and environmental sensitivities early within your project and within that corridor. Engage, build transparent, inclusive dialogue with communities. Not one person in the community, with communities, not just the village chiefs. Integrate, translate community feedback into design and operation. 4, monitor. That means maintain oversight and communication throughout the project life cycle. Adapt, adjust strategies based on community input and project performance. I was happy when PSL was actually giving their presentation. They mentioned about inclusion, having community engagement, stakeholders engagement. It's a very key instrument, very key point when it comes to project management. If you don't engage the stakeholders, not just the stakeholders who are the users, you also have to, wherever your pipeline is passing, you just have to engage those communities early. I'll tell you a story on one of the projects we had to run in Kano. That was in 2020. We had a project manager who thinks that because he's a French person, that he can run the project from France. I told him I was managing the project from my own side in the industry. I said, please, can we have a Nigerian project manager? Somebody who can, since you cannot come to Nigeria, can you have an alternate person who can actually see things from the lens of the country, who will understand the culture, who will understand where this project is going to be sited? He said no, that he will manage it from there. I said, okay, no problem. It came to the point where they had to choose a network provider. I think they used Google because they used Google to think that, oh, a particular network provider will be better for that particular axis based on their own opinion. We said, no problem, you're choosing your network provider. The day they were to go and erect a mast, the community came and said they cannot erect the mast. We had a project delay of 3 good weeks. They had to bring in a Nigerian who works for the company to go and do what? Intercede on their behalf before they had a closure and finally erected the mast. Second one had to do with, okay, when they announced, okay, the network provider that erected the mast was from a network, I don't want to call the network provider, but it wasn't efficient. But to them, it was efficient. But you have peculiarities in communities, things that work in a particular area. It's not all network that works in all areas. During the site acceptance test, the project failed. It didn't pass the acceptance test. We now lost another 2 months because they had to go back to the drawing board to appoint a Nigerian project manager who had to go and do another visibility, select another project site, select another site for the mast, engage another community before they could be able to now go on with the project. But before then, we've already lost some man hours and project timelines. So how do you now say, okay, we are going to measure successes, our key performance indicators for all these phases in the IMA network, in the anticipate, in engage, in integrate, monitor, and adapt? For the key activities under anticipation, you must have baseline assessment, stakeholder mapping, root sensitivity analysis. This must be done. How do you know that you've actually performed? What are the indicators you are looking at? That should be on the percentage of stakeholders group identified, completeness of social baseline data. That will tell you whether you are actually you've actually done what you're supposed to do. Under engage, public consultation focus groups, impact disclosure. You must have that. You must know the number of engagements, attendance, diversity, and inclusion is very, very clear. Stakeholder satisfaction score should also be there. You must have all this data. That's what the things that you need to work on. Integrate. You must have route adjustment design modifications and then have model for compensation and refinement. You must look at the percentage of community recommendations integrated, design modification tracked. You must allow the community to also recommend some things. It mustn't just all come from you. Just give them some level of understanding, level of belonging on that project. They're not the owner of the project, but it's passing through their community. A well-informed community is as good as your partner and co-manager for you in your project. So it's very, very important. I'll take a case study of the AKK gas pipeline applications. I'm happy that Oil Serve is here. If you look at, you are taking gas, you are routing, piping gas from Niger Delta to all the way to Kano. But I think that if you had applied the AMR framework hypothetically, early social mapping could have identified livelihood patterns along the corridors where they would have avoided later competition and conflict. You have a structured dialogue, forums every 2 months per state could have also identified unified messaging and remedied misinformation. Because most of the things that is happening is about misinformation. But when the communities are all aware, there's a structured dialogue following with the communities, you're not going to have some of these problems. Then incorporating local inputs on familiarized access might also help minimizing rerouting delays. Regular grievance dashboard shared publicly could have improved accountability and reduced rumor-driven hostility. Some of the hostilities are actually rumor-driven. But when you are transparent, when people know what you are doing, publicly, share what information publicly, it will help a lot. Then annual review meetings between NMPC Limited and host communities will allow iterative improvement. You look back and see what you've not done correctly and then correct them. I believe that this simulation, that systematic engagement translates into tangible risk mitigation, cost efficiency, and reputational gains for pipeline operators and host communities alike. And I believe that this particular EMA framework can also apply to the OB3 pipeline, gas to power, and LPG expansion programs. What are the policy implications for Africa's energy future? 1, institutionalized standards. Embed community engagement requirements into pipeline licensing and environmental impact assessment framework, defining minimum condition frequency and responsiveness mechanism. We can also link finance to performance. International and local lenders should integrate social performance metrics into due diligence projects, demonstrating transparent engagement, demonstrating due diligence. Then projects that demonstrate transparent engagement should receive accelerated approval or physical incentives. This will help build a local capacity, co-invest in community engagement training hubs to build local expertise in negotiation, data literacy, and participatory monitoring for host communities. There must also be mandate grievance mechanisms. Establish an independent grievance redress systems with public reporting of resolution outcomes to prevent dispute escalation and build credibility. Credibility is very, very important. Then we have to align with energy transition. Integrate stakeholder engagement into national energy transition plans to ensure that pipeline projects maintain social acceptance and uphold environmental responsibility. In conclusion, I would choose partnership over hostility. Community engagement is a measurable engineering safeguard, not a peripheral CSR activity. Comparative evidence demonstrates that projects embedding participatory mechanism experience fewer operational disruptions and stronger public legitimacy. The IMA framework offers a replicable model linking social inclusion and diversity to quantifiable risk outcomes through KPIs and continuous learning loops. As Africa, as Nigerians, and the global south enter the decade of gas and beyond, pipeline system resilience will depend as much on social architecture as on technical design. So transforming hostility into partnership is therefore not just ethical, it is essential to operational excellence, investor confidence, and sustainable energy development. By embedding engagement within engineering governance, pipeline projects can build robust systems that serve both infrastructure needs and community prosperity. I will end and say that peace is not merely a distant goal that we seek, but a means by which we arrive at that goal. These are the words of Martin Luther King Jr. I will say, let's continue the conversation. Thank you and God bless you.
That was very, very, very interesting and entertaining. Dr. Felicia Agbuta, please give her another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much, ma'am, for lending your voice to bring stakeholder engagement just for the cause of a sustainable pipeline infrastructure in Nigeria. Please, can you celebrate the best dressed female for today? The best dressed female for today. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the panel session. My time is 4:21. I'm very time conscious, and of course, if you see your agenda, the panel session is built to last for 30 minutes. And so by 4:51, we should be done with the panel session. And then you have the opportunity to ask questions for 20 minutes. Then by 5, we wrap up for today. So ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce all of the speakers. But before that, I would like that you kindly call the ushers. We need 2 extra seats here. Please call the male ushers to help me add 2 seats here, because we are collapsing 2 panels into one. And so we are getting all the speakers on stage now. The very first panelist, ladies and gentlemen, is a respected leader in Nigeria's gas infrastructure. Help me welcome the Managing Director of the NNPC Gas Infrastructure Company Limited, Engineer Audu Ibrahim F.N. person. He's ably represented by the Executive Director of Finance of NGIC, who will share his insights and contributions on behalf of the organization. Help me welcome Mr. Abiodun Ogundare, celebrating please as he comes on stage, representing his boss. We will bring perspectives on financing, strategies, project execution, regulatory alignment, and partnership models which are critical to unlocking the gas infrastructure deployment and driving our nation's energy transition. Please have a seat. Yes, sir. Thank you so much. We also like to join the next panelist, a standout voice in pipeline engineering and midstream infrastructure. He energy company. Please help me welcome Ayola Olatunji. Please celebrate him. He has a robust engineering background and extensive experience in pipeline operations. He has led designs, executions, and optimization of pipeline systems for major onshore assets. His leadership helps ensure technical integrity, operational excellence, and strategic alignment with today's infrastructure demands. And just like Renaissance says, is Imagineers. Can we celebrate him? Thank you. Midstream petroleum sector. The chairman of the House Committee on Petroleum Resources Midstream of the National Assembly, Honorable Sidi Yakubu, a senior legislative assistant to Honorable Okoje, who will bring the voice and vision of the committee to our discussion. Please help me welcome him as he comes and joins as a panelist. I'd still like to inform the male ushers to kindly add 2 seats so that you don't have our distinguished panelist standing. We also like to welcome another panelist who is a remarkable leader in the banking and energy interface. He's the group head of oil and gas business at Access Bank PLC. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Mr. Emeka Nkwanta. Of course, he has extensive experience in investment finance, commercial banking, and upstream oil and gas sectors. He brings vital insights into how financial institutions can catalyze pipelines infrastructure growth, support project financing, and enhance capital flows into our energy value chain. Please celebrate him once again. Thank you. And of course, still joining as a panelist is a seasoned project leader and expert in pipeline infrastructure execution. He is a senior project manager of Prime Sources Limited with a distinguished background across engineering, project management, and financial oversight. He has been instrumental in driving complex pipeline projects from conception through commission, ensuring excellence, precision, and delivery in midstream space. Please help me welcome Engineer Olutosin Ayetola Jalaoye, MNSCHE, CIPM, IAPM, IABFM, and everything you can think of. Celebrate him, please. The most educated man, the most certified man in our midst. Please, can you give him a round of applause? We celebrate you, sir. We thank you for all you do. We need 2 seats, distinguished. Okay, thank you. But while they are bringing the seats for them, I would like to make a quick announcement. We have our dinner by 6:30, and it's going to be at Hall 4. Can you understand? It's going to be at Hall 4, not this hall. And this has been sponsored by Umugini. The dinner is proudly sponsored by Umugini. I'd like to also announce that please celebrate Umugini, please. Thank you. 10 years, of course. We hope you want to celebrate 11th anniversary next year, so that we also sponsor our dinner again. Celebrate them, please. Now, the CEO MD of Umugini misplaced the pen he used for his tap. It's an automatic pen which he uses to write on his tap. Please, it's a white pen actually. So if you see the pen by your left or your right, please kindly ensure you bring it to me or to the ushers at the registration desk. A white pen. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we continue by introducing the last but not the least of our panelists. He is a visionary leader in Nigeria's oil and gas sector, the group managing director of Oil Serve Group. Engineer Dr. Emeka Okwonsa, CON. Unfortunately, he cannot be with us in person today and is ably represented by Mr. Cheta Okwonsa, who is the Group General Manager, Group Commercial and Business Development at Oil Serve. He will bring his leadership perspective to our discussion. Please celebrate him. And of course, this is the time we welcome our moderator, the man who I would give a 5 minutes key to make him understand that time is up. It is my privilege to welcome Dr. Okay, I meant to understand, for the sake of diversity and inclusion, we have to add a female to the panel. Please celebrate Madame for championing that. She cannot sit down here and watch only men talk about pipeline. No. Thank you so much, ma'am, for noticing that. Okay, so I'm going to bring in the moderator while I get the name of the very last personality that would champion as the female on the team. The moderator, ladies and gentlemen, is a scholar of exceptional stature, a thought leader in chemical and process engineering, and a fellow of the Nigerian Society of Chemical Engineers. He has spent decades advancing engineering education, industrial collaboration, and energy systems development with extensive contributions across policy, research, and professional capacity building. He continues to play a strategic role in shaping the future of Nigeria's energy and engineering value chain. Today he will lead our panel discussion on the theme. It's a collapse theme. We are collapsing 1 and 2, and this is the new theme: pipeline systems for Nigeria's decade of gas and beyond. Challenges, opportunities, and strategies for attracting capital and the risk midstream gas projects. Help me welcome Professor Olusegun Ayola Ajayi, FNSCHE. Please celebrate him, please. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the only female. Please, if your hands are not busy, you are wrong. The only female amongst 7 men. Please celebrate an expert in energy infrastructure and pipeline integrity, Engineer Dr. Adegovigo Emejovoke. Please celebrate her, please. Thank you. Please, you're not clapping enough for the only woman. I would have said a standing ovation. It's not easy. I'll kindly appeal that our technical team help us with some microphones. Okay, for all of the speakers, we have mics. You can test your mics. Thank you, ma'am.
It's okay. just give me that chair, please. That will do. It's time. That's the problem. Good afternoon, everybody. Permit me to sit now, not stand on the existing protocol. We are gathered here today to discuss a critical element of Nigeria's future, the expansion and modernization of our pipeline system. We are gathered here today to discuss a critical element of Nigerian future, the expansion and modernization of our pipeline system for the decade of gas and beyond. This initiative is more than just infrastructure. It is the foundation for diversifying our economy, achieving energy security, and driving industrial growth by unlocking the potential of our vast natural resources and reserves. However, we all agree that the path is without challenges, though full of opportunities. We must confront issues like security, financing, and technological adoption, while simultaneously capitalizing on global opportunity and fostering domestic capacity. We have here intellectuals, experienced engineers in the field who have transformed on a micro level their own places to a better place. We are not here to, I think I'm okay with this chair. Because I can face the panel. Okay, good. So we are not here to actually grade you, but to honor you, and then to actually tap from your wealth of knowledge. We still need some microphone here. I don't know whether these microphones are working. The lady needs microphone, please. Okay, fine. Thank you, sir. I'll do that. So, there's a solution for everything. Let me start with the chief boss in the house, NNPC. You are welcome, sir. I'm sure you have not seen the questions, so we are hoping that from your wealth of experiences, you will be able to tell us a few things. We agree that Nigeria is very rich in oil and gas, and we also need a means to transfer this oil and gas, right? We also agree that by 2023, we are expecting that our pipeline network should actually be able to achieve a better vision. 2033. What are the strategies currently on ground by your company, NNPCL, to make sure that 2033 will not go by without we achieving that?
Thank you very much, I hope I can be heard. So I'm here to represent the MD of NGIC, who is unavoidably absent. I had your question clearly. What we need to start to do now to achieve 2023 expectations. So I'm happy that a lot of these questions have been answered. Several speakers have talked about the AKK line, which is a 600.
Improve the standard of living and preserve our reserve. What do you think we can do to get this fund so that we can be able to actualize this project coming up soon?
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. The very primary thing that we need to do.
You can hold the speaker with your hand, if you don't mind, sir. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. The very primary thing we need to do is to put our house in order in terms of our socio-economic environment. Security-wise and economic-wise. The reason being that investments naturally flow to environments that are safe. of safety. Why? Because equity investors want to get their capital back. Nobody wants to put in capital where it would not come back. Why? Because as we will say in the financial service sector, return of capital is more important than return on capital, or return of your investment is more important than the return on your investment. So those who deploy, who are investors, who bring in equity capital or foreign direct investment, want to be sure that they will get their money back. Be satisfied that first, the debt capital would come back to the financial institution, as well as the bankability of the transaction. So we need to put our house in order to ensure that as foreign investors look at us, they are comfortable to bring in their funds here, and then they'll be able to take it back at the end or the duration of the project. And for the banks or the financial institutions, whether it's foreign financial institutions or local financial institutions, they have to be satisfied that their funds, the depositors' funds that they will lend out to projects, would come back to the bank for the benefit of the depositors who gave them that money. So it's important that we tidy up our house so that investors, equity investors, debt capital investors will be comfortable to put in their monies into the projects.
Thank you. Thank you. So, how do we tidy our house now? What are the debts in our house? Vandalism, security challenges, right? If I agree with you and if you agree with me. Let's see what those in the field, how are they able to actually curb pipeline vandalism and oil theft are essential threats. Beyond security solution, what sustainable community-centric strategies, alternative livelihood, advanced monetary tech can ensure pipeline security for longer time, and that will be able to bring